In Color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Rachel Wells is safe. She is back in the Carson household after a harrowing flight from Jack Chandler's farmhouse. Chandler had abducted her, grabbed her as she walked out of a night school class. Now Rachel must face an even tougher adversary, herself, for she knows something about the disappearance of Allison. Guilty knowledge she has deliberately kept from the Carsons.
I thought I'd never see you again.
It's over, Rachel.
You don't know how awful it was. He hates you, Mrs. Carson, and he hates Matthew, even the baby.
Rachel, it's over.
All I could think of was that I'd never get a chance to see Matthew learn to walk. I'd never hear him say my name. He'd forget all about me as if I wasn't even here. Oh, I don't want to leave here, ever.
You don't have to, Rachel. You know that. We want you to stay.
But he'll never let me stay. Don't you understand? Jack Chandler never let me stay here.
The police will take care of him. You have to learn to forget. You're home now, and you're safe. That's all that matters. Oh, Rachel, trust us. We love you. We won't let anything happen to you. You have to forget about tonight. Put it out of your mind.
But how do you shut off your mind?
I remember what I used to tell Allison when she was little. She used to have terrible nightmares. Not all the time, but when she did, she'd be afraid to go back to sleep. She'd be afraid she'd dream the same horrible dream. So I used to sit down by her, have her close her eyes, and then tell her to think of something wonderful. Something she'd already done, or something maybe that she'd like to do. Even silly, impossible things. And you know, it worked. Pretty soon she'd be fast asleep, with a big smile on her face.
You remember everything about Allison, don't you? Ever since she was a little girl.
I'm glad I do. I don't feel as lonely like that. What is it, Rachel?
Nothing.
I'm not sad about Allison, because I know she's coming back to us.
It's not that. It's nothing.
Why don't you try my formula? Close your eyes and think of something wonderful.
Calm down yet?
A little. She's still pretty upset.
Well, don't you think maybe you should stay with her?
If I thought it would help, I would.
Maybe I ought to go up there. Let her know that I'm here, that I'm going to stay here.
I think if we leave her alone a while, she'll go to sleep. We can check on her later.
But maybe she needs to know that she's really protected.
I'm sure she knows that.
I suppose you're right.
You're pretty upset yourself.
Yeah, I know I am. I'll tell you one thing, Connie. I've made up my mind that I'm not going to let that girl out of my sight. I mean it. I'm going to take this responsibility on my own. And I'm not relying on anyone. Not on Dad, not on Rodney, not on Dr. Rossi. Not on anyone. And I'm staying right here in this house until they get Chandler. I don't care if it takes a week or even a month.
We still have a police department, you know.
Fine. Let them find Chandler.
And you have to get the Clarion out.
No, the world can do without a couple of issues of the Clarion. I can do most of the work right here on the phone. But I'm not leaving here until Chandler's locked up.
I'm kind of glad there's something to keep you here. Why don't you go up to see Rachel?
I thought you just said that.
I changed my mind. I think it would do you both good.
Okay.
Seemed to me this be the last place he'd come.
Over here, we're checking it out. Look around.
Right. Now let's send the crew out here and flood this place with light.
Later. I doubt if he'd build a fire in this heat.
Maybe. He's not the most logical man in the world. Great big vacuum job. That's what this place needs. We're playing it by ear this way.
Well, all right, we'll send a crew out tomorrow. Go over this place with a fine-tooth comb. You got something?
A piece of paper.
Well, let's get out of here.
Oh, come in, Mike. Oh, it's been a rough night. You want to see Rachel? She's upstairs.
Yeah. She's back, huh?
Yes, she's back.
She's all right.
Yes, she's all right, yeah.
He's gone completely irrational. He's obsessed with the girl, I'm afraid, and he's gonna come back.
She's asleep now.
Elliot, listen, she wasn't, I mean, she's all right, huh?
Yeah, apparently Chandler tried to Shanghai her to Mexico. She got away, jumped out of his truck.
Mexico? I mean, he didn't stop anywhere along the way. I mean, Mexico seems like
all
a
right,
long way to me.
Mike. Honestly, she's all right.
It doesn't add up. I mean, when she came back that night from the farmhouse, I had to give her a sedative, remember? Well, I think I better go up and take a look at her.
Now, wait a minute, Mike. It's only been in the last couple of minutes that Connie's finally got her to drop off.
She has an emotional problem. I think I better look in on her, huh?
Sure.
In here.
thought you said you'd be upstairs.
Come on, come on. Now then.
I feel kind of funny just being here, sir.
Well, we had our little argument. It's over.
You know, I don't know why. I don't know why I started sounding off about Sandy like that. It was kind of dumb. What has she ever done for me, huh? Except hold hands with one guy right after the other and hang our dirty wash out all over town.
You should have thought of that before. Varium et mutabere semper femina.
What's that mean?
It means even though you give every bit of your faith and affection to a woman, she can throw it back in your face with not a trace of gratitude.
Oh, man, that's it.
Hmm.
You know, I really don't think there's one of them that wouldn't sell a guy out if the price was right. That's why if you're thinking of canning me, Mr. Peyton, I can't handle the thought that I'm going to lose my job over a lousy hassle about Sandy. It just makes me sick. But I know I can make it up to you, sir.
Well, relax, Weber. I didn't call you here to fire you. You should know better than that.
Oh, it's kind of late when you called.
Late by your standards. But an old man, there is no later, really. Late time running out. That's why an old man values loyalty. That's above everything in life.
Let me get that for you, sir.
I told you that it was rare in women. Actually, it's rare in anyone. Do you think that you can come up to it?
Well, sure I can. You ought to know that by now. I mean, have I ever let you down?
But if you got a better offer, wouldn't you sell me out if the price were right?
Price? Who could come up with that kind of price?
It isn't a question of money. Everybody has strings that people can pull if they're able to find them.
I can't feature anybody pulling strings with you.
Can't you? Then you have a very poor imagination. To be human, unfortunately, is to be vulnerable. And your vulnerability is awesome, Weber. Your cockiness is just a cheap facade to conceal the slavish need you have for reassurance. You're supremely vain, supremely arrogant. But deep down, you're terrified. Take, for example, the sniveling where you tore down your wife because you thought it would placate me. Yes. You're a weakling. And someday the world's going to find it out. I don't want the chance I gave you to backfire on me.
I may be a lot of the things you say I am, Mr. Peyton. A lot of the things, but I'm not weak and you know it, or you wouldn't keep me around here. Well, I'm on your side, not like them. And I think you know it.
Get into your uniform. I want you to drive to New York.
Right now?
Yes. Here. Pick this man up and bring him back here. He'll be waiting out in front of his home at 8:30.
Millard Grayson?
Yes. Don't expect much in the way of conversation. Mr. Grayson isn't very comfortable with people. Only with precious stones.
Well, what is he? Some kind of a jeweler?
That's right, yes. A jeweler.